Hello, exiles. It's FX Killer here. Conan has finally launched, and with it, the swamp and jungle biome, something I've been particularly excited about. There are so many good build spots in the swamp and jungle that it was really difficult to make this list only 6, but I've scoured the biome for the best locations to build your base. I used 2 factors when determining the base, the defensive position and the convenience factor. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 6, the Ancient Ruins. Now the Ancient Ruins is located right here, to the west of the main city in the center of the map. What you're going to see is that there's a lot of pre-built walls everywhere, and you can use that to save tons of materials. There's places like this attic, for instance, or the inside of a room, where you could block off with just a few walls and make a very temporary but protected spot. There's chests here and mobs to kill. Additionally, there's a teleporter right next door here at Dagon's Eye, and the Ancient Ruins is a central location to quite a few bosses, so if you want to farm skeleton keys and you're into that, you're nearby. You're really just not far from anything. Cons are that there isn't an abundance of resources, so you're going to have to venture out to get more stuff like, silver and iron and whatnot. You're not that close to thralls. You're going to have to travel either west or south or north to get to them and, obviously drag them back. That's probably why it ended up as number 6 on this list, but it's so far from thralls, it just didn't make it any higher. Number 5, the highest peak I could find. This peak is located southeast of the Flotsam Point of Interest. It's a plateau, which means it's going to be easy to defend, easy to make a wall around, and it also has access to many unlimited thralls. Really, right below you are the biggest thrall camps in the game practically. There's tons of iron spawns right here at the top. It's also the highest point in the map, so you're going to have a great view of everything, depending on your graphics card, of course. The only bad things I'd say are you're going to have a little bit of additional travel time to get here and back. It's a little bit farther from teleports than other locations, and I think it's also sort of a position that everybody's going to see you at. It's kind of a prominent spot, so you're definitely going to have to play defensively and be smart if you're going to build here. Number 4, any tall tree. Now, I know that sounds bland, but honestly, I couldn't just pick one. They're all so good. These tall trees are great defensively because it's going to be a lot more difficult for somebody to climb it when there's arrows or whatever raining down on them. I've wanted to make tree forts in games forever, and I managed to do it in some other games, but this is the first time you can really make a legit base in a tree. Not only that, but there's lots of thralls around depending on what tree you pick. So if you pick a tall tree that just happens to be near a thrall camp, that's going to be your perk. If you want to farm bosses, you can pick one near bosses, and if you have a resource-rich location that you found, you can pick one there. This tree here has an especially wide base. Here it is on the map. Number 3, the triple pillars. I found 2 separate sets of triple pillars, so I'm going to share you both sets as one. The first one here is at Dagon's Claw. You could easily make these bases almost unraidable, and you could connect them together and you could make just a really awesome spot on these triple peaks. These peaks are very easy to defend. They're pretty much immune to the purge, and you can also be very creative and have a lot of fun building in a spot like this. The second triple is actually an island, and here it is on the map. These islands are also really cool. They are a little farther away from other things, but I think that the pros of building on a triple island in the middle of the water definitely outweighs any cons, especially because you're right across the bay from 2 NPC camps where you can get pretty much whatever you need. With water below, most fights will be you shooting at people in the water. Using tall pillars always has its negatives though, which means you're probably going to have to rely on elevators and large blocks of foundations to make them semi-unraidable, as well as a god bubble. For that reason, the triple pillar at Dagon's Claw and the triple island pillar both take the place of number 3. Number 2, the secluded island. Now, I found this island just wandering. once you get here, what you're going to see is it has a boss on it, a very strange looking boss, and also a chest, of course. And that's about all it has. So you might be thinking, well, why is this at the number 2 spot? If you make a big wall around this base, nobody can assault it without swimming. I mean, they're going to have to build very far out to even get any kind of stance on attacking, throwing anything at your base, and it's going to be very difficult for somebody to raid you if you do it right. It's also right across the water from multiple NPC camps and lots of resources. This also means you can box in this boss and keep it on farm. You could maybe set up a bunch of thralls to kill this boss on farm. The unfortunate things about the secluded island is, first off, there's basically no resources at all here. You're also extremely visible on the water. Anything you build is going to be seen from miles away. So you're definitely going to be a target and your base is going to see a lot of traffic. Last but not least, number 1, the upper staging area. Now you might think this isn't really a specific spot, it's more of a location. And with that, I'm going to agree with you. This is the entire location of the upper staging area, and I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, it's right next to the teleporter. I mean, if you build on this hill here, or these trees here, or right around the corner, you're all very close to a teleporter, enabling you to get from place to place much faster. Additionally, there's several bosses around. There's one in this tunnel, there's one right here, and there's another one over here. There's loads of resources. You can find pretty much any resource you want within a 10 to 30 second walk of here. And in addition, there's many build options. You have trees everywhere, you have hills, you have low areas, you have small overlooks. There's all kinds of stuff in this area. There's also a passageway here. Will take you to the north. Now there is a boss in here, so you're gonna have to ninja your way through unless you want to fight the boss every time. Now the cons are that, well, you will be near the teleporter, so people coming through the teleporter might see your base, so it's something to consider. And additionally, you aren't very close to any NPC camps. That's the one thing that this spot doesn't really have a lot of, although there are NPC camps nearby. Alright Exiles, I hope you found this list helpful. I enjoyed making it and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Leave a comment below and let me know where your favorite spot is and what you thought of my list. Also, be sure to look for my follow-up video on the top 6 build spots in the volcano biome. As always, be sure to leave me a like, subscribe if you can, and I'll see you in the next video.